Last we saw sequential executor, which was able to run only one task instance at a time. In this lecture, we will discover local executors, which helps us in achieving the simultaneous execution of multiple tasks. Starting with its definition and some of its key points. A local executor executes a task locally but in parallel. Where the term locally means all the tasks run on the same one machine where Airflow web server, scheduler and all other components are running. With local executor, a single local worker is responsible for all task execution steps like picking up the jobs and run them. And in order to run those tasks in parallel, it uses multiprocessing Python library and queues. To use local executor, we need to install a separate database like MySQL or Postgres to handle the metadata. And that database should be installed in a separate instance other than Airflow. Guys, it is a very easy and straightforward to set up a local executor. Moreover, due to its cheap and resource light features, developers with reasonable number of resources prefer to use it. Even we have been using it all the way long throughout this course. No doubt that local executor is easy and cheap to set up. It offers parallelism, but there are some drawbacks. You should consider them too before you incorporate them into your field. Since local executor runs tasks locally, that is on the same system, so this limits its capacity to the available resources on that local machine only. Whatever resources are present on that machine, you have to satisfy with that. Using local executor, you cannot scale it too far. Second, again, since it is incorporated on a single machine, it makes the whole setup dependent on a single point of failure. If anything happens to the host machine, all your underlying tasks will halt. So these were some pros and cons of local executor. Now it's time for practice. First thing first, in the Docker Compose file, change this sequential to local. Save it. And since our web browser is already running with sequential executor, so we need to restart it. Yep, it is healthy. Let's once check in running Airflow configurations. Configuration. Yep, local executor is running. In SQL Alchemy connection, for the local executor, it has changed to Postgres values. Having said that, let's run the same DAG again. And please remember that in DAG definition, we don't have any task dependencies. So it is expected that all the three tasks should run parallelly. In schedule state, two are success and one is running. Yes, all of them succeeded. Now go to graph view. Yep, all the three tasks run parallelly. And now go to Gantt chart. Here we can clearly see all the tasks has done a parallel execution. They all started at same time. And this is how a local executor works. Adding on it, guys, we can make some changes in airflow.cfg file to make a local executor incapable of running multiple tasks in parallel, or even you can limit the task parallelism. We can do this by changing DAG concurrency property in airflow.cfg file. See, here we have DAG concurrency. It is by default set to 16. Actually guys, there is a subtle difference between parallelism and DAG concurrency, and it is often confusing. Parallelism is the max number of task instances that can run concurrently on your whole Airflow setup. This means that across all running DAGs, no more than 32 tasks will run at one time. And DAG concurrency is the number of task instances allowed to run concurrently within a specific DAG. So suppose you have 4 DAGs, each having 10 tasks running in parallel. If your parallelism is set to 32, then a total of 32 tasks would run in parallel and not 40. And if DAG concurrency would have been set to 8, then within a DAG only 8 tasks would run in parallel and not 10. I hope it was clear. Coming back to our code. Now in this code, suppose if I'm changing the DAG concurrency to 1, it means only one task will run at a time. But again, we have to mount this file with Airflow container. So I have mounted this CFG file at this container address. And to make the changes effective, restart our services again. Run our DAG again. Only one task is pending. Yep, it got succeed. Going to the Gantt chart. You can see each task has run sequential execution as if they were run using sequential executor. This all happened because DAG concurrency was set to 1. Excellent. So that's it for local executor, and I will see you in next lecture.